What's up, mobile gamers? It's Dronzer Gigs back with another buff video. We had a lot of people buffed in the last patch, and it is gonna be a crazy one today because we're playing Kazama, and he's honestly very hard to play because he's easy to shoot out of the air. Especially, let's see, we have a Hunter, Osas, and a Hualing. That's gonna be a tough one. They're gonna basically eat my lunch, so we're going to do our best, but it's going to be a tough one for sure. So if you guys don't know, Kazama, I mean, he's not very good, but he did get a buff to his ammo capacity, which means that you have an even larger window if you have his passive. So if you guys didn't know, passive is if you hit somebody with that shot, it doesn't cost ammo, so it doesn't have to reload your gun. So essentially, as long as I hit all my shots every single time, I can stay at 8 shots the whole time, which is pretty nice, honestly. The problem with Kazama being he does not have maneuverability in the air. I think he should have a big speed boost when he's in the air, for sure. We're going to go ahead and just go straight out and then grab the kill on the Osas, help out our team. We are lagging a little bit as well. Yep, and so you saw there that we had to reload, so we were unable to get the kill on the Hunter, but yeah, we're not even pushing the payload, so nobody picked any sort of tank, and that is how you lose the games of Payload Escort. So we'll go ahead, we're going to shoot down this hallway here. I know I saw, I think it was the Osas, maybe? I'm not even sure which one it was. See if we can't get, who's on the point? Is that the Hualing? Yeah, there we go. So I know I am doing pretty good with not Hunter, against Hunter as Kazama, right? But that is because I'm actually very good with Kazama in general. If you guys didn't know, I was actually, I think, top 100 Kazama player back before he even got all the buffs that he received just recently. So he's actually very fun to use. It just sucks that he's not as good as some of the other heroes. I do think the speed buff is definitely needed. Especially if you're gonna sit in the air. Like that Gatling killed me in just very fast, maybe a second. And she didn't even need to really track me because it doesn't move as fast in the air. Like the ability moves fast in the air. The problem is you have to cancel it and start hovering.
This is gonna hurt.
Is there a Hunter up there? Oh, okay. Yep, we're gonna go ahead. Oh, there's the Hualing. Yeah, get out of here. Oh man, and it didn't even cost me ammo to kill her either, which is the even more fun part. So we do have, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't come around the side of the Gatling here. And that's honestly the most important part about playing Kazama, is to make sure that you're always in the air as much as you can be, so that you're not easy to track and you don't have to worry about enemies coming and getting you easily. You do have I'm not sure, the second ult's better, but you don't have access to them yet, which is unfortunate, especially with how good it is. We're gonna try and get some of the damage on the. Ooh, we're gonna ult here. We'll ult here. Get the Osas. We would have got the Hualing if the Ruby didn't get us from far away with one of her cards, but that's okay. We do have a decent. Our team's doing a little bit better now that somebody picked Fade. See if we can't get some damage flying in there.
Better start running.
The payload is approaching a checkpoint.
Now let's see, we can't get the. We're gonna go ahead and try and get the Ruby. Probably not though. She has that health pack to fall back on. We got her. Perfect. Let's go ahead, fly up, and we're gonna basically just try and stay on top of these guys and keep them guessing. He is a flanker, right? And you just want to flank. Like that is exactly what you want to do with Kazama. It is just kind of tough because he doesn't always stay in the air. I think if they made it where you know, a kill recharges your ability or something, that would be really cool. I think it would make him a little bit more viable. And it looks like the Hualing. So we're gonna straight up rush the Hualing here, just because she is sitting in the back and she does a lot of damage. So we got some damage on her, and they switched over to Judix. So they're playing full damage with, I think, one healer. Wounded. Okay, the Gloria just got the
Payload is
hunter.
approaching its destination.
But yeah, Kazuma's really fun, you guys. I think that he needs a speed boost in the air, absolutely. I think if they did that, if they gave him the speed boost, I think he might be worth playing. The problem is that nobody wants to play Kazama when somebody like Johnny exists or something like that, because you don't get the same use out of him that you would. So you can see I can barely even strafe. I can't even strafe in the air. That's full tilt both directions, and you can't strafe in the air. I wish that you, especially for how long it is, you only get a few seconds in the air with his first active. They should make the mid-air strafe speed faster. Even if they don't make the speed for his regular running any faster, it's fine. But if they made the strafe speed faster, you'd be able to avoid enemy fire, and it wouldn't be as tough to get kills and do damage. Because right now you don't even have to be good, and you can snipe Kazama out of the air. And you can see we're having trouble with the Hualing here. But the idea right now is that my team needs to post up and push the payload, and unfortunately they are not. So looks like they just got it. So the goal right now is not actually even to kill the Hualing. It's just to get her and the Gatlin to focus on me instead of my teammates. There we go. So if you notice, when I'm flying around them, that's when my team should be able to more easily push the payload. And that is very helpful as a flanker. That is your secondary job. If you can take the point and push it, you see there are 14 kills. It's pretty good as a Kazama. I'm not sure if that's like the ballpark or the average or anything like that. So definitely let me know, you guys, if you what you think, if you guys have got any higher kill games on Kazama, because that's only a bronze, right? So not very good as far as like did I outperform other Kazamas, but he's very, very fun to play, I think. And he is my lowest hero, but that is just because I play for videos mainly now. And so back when I used to use him, I wasn't actually doing any YouTube videos yet. So we've been getting very lucky with fast matchmaking. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the next one here. But Kazama's buff was nice. He needs that mid-air strafe speed. If he could move away from enemy fire faster, then I think he'd be decent. The problem is he needs either more time in the air, so like I would double his tactical probably. It only gives you maybe 8 seconds tops, which is not enough. He needs to be able to either have 2 charges, right? So 8 seconds and then 8 seconds, or a total of 16 seconds. That way, if you need to end it early and take cover, then you can do that, and it will still give you your charge time back rather quickly. Defense is not his strong suit. I would say control is where he shines the most. But this map is very vertical, so they're already going to be looking towards us. Like, we already know that there's going to be somebody up here taking shots, and they need to watch out for that. So unfortunately, it does make it somewhat predictable in terms of where people are going to be. And so that makes it tough, especially as a Kazama. If everyone's already looking upward, they're going to automatically know where you're at. So we're actually going to take the ground area over here and wait for them to come up on this edge. Got the Ruby, the Christina, and so the goal here is we're gonna... Ooh, Hualing. Perfect, okay. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and flank. Oh, did it? Sometimes it does that. It will actually not fly you up. It'll just kind of hover. Okay, well the plan was to flank, but my team's very, very bad this round, so dead from the Gloria. And that's what Kazama really is, honestly. You just die and die and die and die. It's very difficult to get kills with him because he's very, very easy to hit out of the air.
Stop the payload.
And he doesn't have a lot of health. And the problem is the other flanking heroes, they all have some way of getting out of damage and, you know, being in a different area that's not as detrimental. But you see, like, sure I can fly, but, you know, look at all these people shooting at me, and, you know, we can't take down a Gloria very easily. If we can, especially, yep, she has a neon. Like, that's game over. And, you know, let's say I was Johnny, right? I would have probably killed the Gloria. I would have retreated with 2 jumps, killed the Gloria before the neon got there, and then taken out the neon if she did decide to teleport. And they're running over our team here. Unfortunately, the neon is very intuitive, and she's staying around the Gloria as much as she can. So we're in the Hualing. So this is where Kazama has a hard time, is when you see that basically every hero has a easy way of killing me, and I don't have a way of running. And so it doesn't matter that I can do this flying move, because it's not long enough, and I don't hover long enough, and I don't have the mobility when I'm hovering. So essentially all the bad parts of being in the air are still there, even though he does have that increased ammo. I would say maybe we have a chance at getting a kill if the ultimate is off cooldown and we can grab a kill real quick, but we're gonna try to like a big hard flank on the side here and try to help out our team. Yeah, our team's just very, very bad this round. And then you have like 1 shot, 2 shots, I'm dead. This is the struggle for Kazama players, is if they know to look for you, you're toast. Like, it does not matter, they don't have to be good or anything like that. All they have to do is kind of look in your general direction and hit, like, you know, 4 of their 10 shots, and they've got you. And so what you find is, even if somebody is good with Kazama, they usually don't play him, because he does not have the capabilities of some of these other heroes. Like, that's 2 shots. 2 shots from a Christina killed me. Which in my opinion is absolutely insane. Like that shows that a character needs more than just 2 plus 2 on his ammo capacity. Like, the T3 devs need to take a look at these heroes and actually, you know, give some buffs to the ones that need buffs, instead of, you know, you worry about nerfing Gatlin and then all your heroes just kind of suck. And that's where you find somebody like Kazama sitting, where, you know, like, this Hualing's just gonna pop out and kill me if I don't get this health pack. And luckily she wasn't looking at me. But in a normal situation, you know, a flanker should be at least a little bit useful. The problem is that the ability to flank with Kazama is very limited. He can fly, yes, but he's so easy to shoot out of the air. He's very easy, and you can't fire while you're in his second active. If you could fire when you're in his second active, you make his first active fly for longer, you give him increased flight speed, you know, increased movement and strafe speed while he's in the air, which I think would be the perfect one, because being in the air, we'll grab our rewards. I think we already grabbed those, so we were pretty close to the next 200, but you'll find that Kazama is very hard to play because of that. It's not because his damage isn't good or anything like that. It's because if you fly, he's a sitting duck, and the whole point of his kit is to be able to fly in the air. So when you have somebody who pays attention, you know, like the Christina or the Gloria, she just looks at me, goes boom, 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 dead. Like, literally 3 bursts, and I'm dead. It doesn't even matter how good I am as a Kazama player, because at full tilt, he does not move in the sky. If he had, like, a maybe a 30% speed boost honestly, if I were to truly do it, I would give him 50 and see where it lands him. 50% speed boost in the air, he's twice as fast, something like that, where you can then be like, oh, okay, that was a little too much. Because here's the thing. When you go to this roster, right, there's only certain characters that they're going to want to buff. If no one picks Kazama, then they're not going to buff him. It's as simple as that. You'll see if they want Kazama to be picked and he's not being picked, then they'll buff him, just like they did with Hualing, right? You look at Hualing, she has the least amount of picks as a hero, and you can find that they wanted to raise her pick rate, and so they buffed her. And they buffed her not too terribly, but somebody like Kazama, that 50% speed boost would be so huge for his kit, and I don't think you would see his pick rate rise very far. We are on attack, so that is unfortunate. We're gonna see what we can do here. We do have a healer and a Jabali, so we shouldn't have too much of a problem pushing the payload. And this is a very tight map, so what you're gonna see is you don't have the mobility and ease that you would in 3v3. And I might throw a 3v3 game in here, I'm not sure. But in 3v3, you have limited people to focus on, and you have more room to maneuver. So, for instance, a lot of people would be like, oh, well, look how far you can go. You can go from here, you know, fly around all the way over to here. Like, that is plenty of room for you to be moving around in. And sure, it's a large amount of room, but look where the doors are. Look where everyone who's on defense is going to be. Look where their line of sight is going to go. They only have to do from like here to here of their aim, and they've got the whole thing covered. And so they don't need to worry about the fact that I have a lot of room, because they essentially have a cone around where I'm at. So we're going to try to flank here, and they won't expect it because the bomb does not go to the mid-air portion of the map. So you can see that even when I'm strafing, it's very difficult. She still got some shots on me. And luckily my other teammates were able to flank and get some height and stuff like that. And so, yep, there you go. That's what I mean. The Gloria killed me in like maybe a burst. Maybe a burst. I'm being honest. She is super strong right now. And being in the air is almost detrimental to Kazama. So essentially you have made a character who will lose encounters by using his abilities. And that's just unfortunate. The unfortunate truth about that fact is that you just I was talking there, so I wasn't even firing. But that's the unfortunate truth, is his abilities are a detriment to him. It does help with flanking, and I think if you were in control or 3v3, I wouldn't be too upset about it. But when you're oh, thought I dodged that, but when you're sitting around and you're trying to get some damage on some of these other players, you really need to be able to have that flexibility where, you know, even when I'm trying to take a fight and I'm like, oh, let me use my abilities. Well, what do? One of them is decent. It moves you around and you can take height and stuff like that. And what's the other one do? Well, the other one basically makes me a sitting duck, and it takes like one burst to kill me from most of the guns that the main cast has. And so that is the main problem I have with Kazama, is that like this right here, okay, she's already low health, never mind. But what you find is that Kazama just does not have the ability to escape. His damage is good. I will actually say that if you have a good Kazama player, then they're going to pretty much essentially melt through a lot of the other heroes because they won't expect you from the air. But what happens is once they find you, you're very easy to kill. So like right here, we're going to go ahead and just stay here because I know that they're not going to be able to counter me. And then we're going to go over here. And so the plan now is to occupy a space that they don't expect you, and then you have to always be moving. Alright, we're gonna... I don't know if the Christine's gonna push. We're gonna kind of hang back a little bit. because I know she's going to come for me. There we go. Looks like she might have died. Let's see if we can't get the Osas out of the air here. And I always reload whenever you have the chance. I would reload just because Kazuma's main problem was his ammo and the rest of his kit. And what you find now is that Kazama is unable to do the kinds of damage that he needs to because of his kit. If I was, let's say I was Osas, right? Osas can afford to just be in the air for a few seconds. And because his damage is so good, and what you find with Kazama is that the damage is good, but you're going, if they're shooting back, you're dead. You will lose the fight if they are shooting back. Unless it's like a Christina and she messes up the trajectory of the orb or something like that. So focus in is hard on, like, the payload is in one spot and it moves. And so it's a different type of focus than control, where a lot of people will just focus on running around getting kills once they have the control point, which is very good, and it's advantageous for Kazama because he's able to change his trajectories and where he's at and do a little bit more in control, because not everybody is staring down the barrel of where you're going to start out every time. In Payload Escort, you always start from one side of the map in a certain area, and the enemy team knows that, and so you basically have to be very creative as Kazama to even get into the air in the first place. So we'll jump into a control match and we will see how it goes. Okay guys, so I actually wasn't able to get a control match. I was in queue for about 10 minutes and didn't get anything, and I've had Payload Escort in ranked for pretty much like eight games in a row. I think it was eight or nine games in a row. So we're just gonna go ahead and talk about a little bit of why I like Kazama, because I have been pretty negative on him, and the truth is I really enjoy Kazama. I have a lot of fun playing him even when I die, and I think it's because of the uniqueness of his kit. No other hero can take to the skies. No other hero has literally a rocket launcher as their gun. He is just super, super fun and super cool, and I think he's very underrated. Like I said, I mean, just a simple buff to his movement speed in the air when he's hovering would do wonders for his pick rate. He'd actually be worth using in ranked. I think I would use him way more. He'd probably be up there with some of my other heroes, you know, like Gloria and Gatlin and stuff like that. So what you'll find is that a lot of people who play Kazama play him because they really like him. And I think that that's one of the strong points about Kazama and his kit, is I think if they just did a little bit, they could make him really good. And that goes for a lot of other heroes too. Pretty much everybody you see here on the bottom could use a buff. All these heroes need buffs. You have like this top row, maybe even the second row could probably use a tiny bit, and then I just don't like Jabali, so he's kind of down there, and Labula's down there. But you know, some of these flankers and healers definitely need buffs, and I think Kazama is the perfect example because they don't need really big buffs. You know, his kit, overall his kit is good. He has a very strong gun, the passive is nice, this ability, this blasting flight is not bad. It's only a 3-second of flight, and I think that it needs a little bit more. So, you know, small buffs, just like the ammo, need to actually be happening to the usability of the hero rather than just their damage output. So you'll find that even if you didn't change his gun at all, and you just gave him, you know, a longer flight duration or the ability to shoot during it, or if you had flight mode where he only hovers for 4 seconds, make it 10. Make it like 6, and give him an increase of like 30 to 40 movement speed when he's in the flight mode. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of buffs they could do that could make these legends and heroes usable, and then you would see a lot closer tier list, you'd see a lot closer pick rates, and the win rates would probably go up for majority of heroes, because it would take a higher skilled player to really bring out the potential of the hero. If you just increase his damage, cool, like nothing's gonna happen to him. But if you were to take his flight mode and, like I said, add that movement speed, you're going to see people who are good with Kazama be good with Kazama, or people who aren't as good pick him up and be like, hey, now that I can survive in the air a little bit, depending on who I'm facing in a 1v1 or a team fight, I can actually be useful to the team. And I think that we really want to see that in T3, especially I do. So let me know what you guys think as far as more buffs go, because honestly, this is one of the ones where I don't think it was enough. The Gloria, the Christina, those buffs were fine, and Kazama's was not enough, even though I love playing him. So I am kind of biased, honestly. If they didn't change him, I would still play him all the time. I'm just, you know, college is pretty crazy, and it's going to start back up soon, so I don't have a ton of time, because I've actually got some summer tests and stuff too, so I haven't had too much time to play him, but I really like playing him when I get the chance. So those are the buffs for Kazama. I think he is super fun, but he needs a little bit more. He needs some survivability instead of some damage. So that's the video for you guys. We're going to be going over probably Chemist next. I'm not really sure. Let me know who you guys want to see next for the buffs. I think we have 2 left, maybe 2, but we'll do the other ones on, you know, Wednesday and Friday and stuff like that. So keep an eye out, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.